Do you know that every time you see a Triumph speed past you in Europe or a Harley rolled through the streets of Los Angeles, there's a bit of India inside that machine. Not a sticker, not a slogan, but the hands, the precision, and the engineering that built it. For decades, the world associated India with rickshaws, scooters, and dusty commuter bikes that coughed through traffic. But while the world was laughing, India was quietly building an empire. One bolt, one engine, one partnership at a time. And today, without a single grand announcement, that empire has spread across the world's roads. From London to Lima, from New York to Nairobi, the future of motorcycles is being assembled in India. Every industrial revolution has its soundtrack. Britain had the clank of steam engines. America had the rumble of muscle cars. China had the whir of assembly lines. And India? India had silence. Because this wasn't a revolution of noise. It was a revolution of discipline. The story begins in the dark years of the license Raj, when every bolt and bearing needed government approval. Imports were restricted, technology was outdated, and the Indian motorcycle was a survival machine. Rugged, simple, eternal. But then came the joint ventures. Hero Honda, TVS Suzuki, Yamaha Escorts. The Japanese did not just bring bikes. They brought blueprints of efficiency, of design, of precision engineering. They trained a generation of Indian engineers who learned how to think in microns, not millimeters. And then something unexpected happened. The students surpassed the masters. By the 2000s, Indian companies no longer needed foreign partners. They had the expertise, the factories, and the confidence to go global. Hero, Bajaj, and TVS were no longer assembling machines for Indians. They were building motorcycles for the world. 2020, a crisis year for many, but a milestone for Indian motorcycles. When Britain's legendary Norton motorcycles collapsed under debt, it wasn't a European conglomerate that came to the rescue. It was TVS Motor Company from Chennai. They didn't just buy the brand, they rebuilt it. A new factory in Solihull, a revived V4 superbike, and a clear message to the world that India could restore a century-old British icon on its own terms. Meanwhile, another quiet revolution was brewing in Pune. Bajaj Auto, long known for three-wheelers and commuter bikes, was quietly becoming a global player. They already owned a large stake in KTM, the Austrian performance brand famous for its orange rockets. Now they partnered with Triumph Motorcycles to create the Speed 400 and Scrambler 400X. Bikes designed in the UK, but manufactured entirely in India. Half the price, same quality, better engineering. That wasn't just partnership, that was power reversal. And then came the American giant, Harley-Davidson. After years of struggling in India, Harley shut down operations in 2020. Most saw it as the end of the road. But 3 years later, Harley was back, riding pillion with Hero MotoCorp. Together they launched the Harley X440, the first Harley built entirely in India for global markets. A bike with American soul and Indian muscle. Torquey, reliable, beautifully balanced. From saving British brands to building American ones. India was no longer the workshop of the world. It was becoming the laboratory of the world. India sells nearly 20 million two-wheelers every year. That scale breeds perfection. With efficient supply chains, skilled engineers, and low costs, India offers what no other country can. Volume plus value plus versatility. For Western brands drowning in rising costs, India became the perfect equation. In Pune, Chennai, and Hosur, engineers can prototype a new bike in weeks, not months. Labor isn't cheap, it's skilled. Production isn't chaotic, it's calibrated. That's why foreign brands aren't outsourcing to India. They're integrating with India. Because this isn't a story of cheap labor, it's a story of engineering mastery. In the 1980s, Japan taught India how to build bikes. By the 2000s, India had become the teacher. The export boom began. Hero, Bajaj, and TVS shipping to over 80 countries. From Lagos to Lima, Delhi-made bikes became the workhorses of daily life. And then came something poetic, the heritage revival. Mahindra resurrected Jawa and BSA. TVS revived Norton. India was now buying back its former colonizers' icons, restoring them with Indian hands, and sending them back to the world. It was a form of industrial karma, a quiet reversal of history. Every factory in India today runs not just on electricity, but on confidence. Confidence that comes from mastering every step, from casting engine blocks to coding fuel injection software. When you can design a 200-kilogram performance machine that passes Europe's toughest emission and safety tests, you're no longer assembling, you're innovating. That's why every major brand, Triumph, KTM, Husqvarna, Harley, relies on India's ecosystem to survive. The line between Indian and foreign motorcycle is vanishing fast. What you see on the road as British, Austrian, or American is, in reality, Made in India 2.0. The road of the motorcycle is changing. It's quieter now, smoother, smarter. And much of that intelligence is being written in India. In the glass labs of Bengaluru and Chennai, engineers are sketching the future, on screens instead of paper. CAD designers simulate aerodynamics. AI models test torque and wear. And the same minds that once built scooters are now using digital twins to perfect superbikes. The TVS Apache RR310, Triumph Speed 400, Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. These aren't cheap knockoffs. They're global machines. Engineered in India, respected everywhere. For the first time, India isn't just manufacturing motorcycles, it's designing them. And design is where true power lies. The next race isn't about engines, it's about batteries. It's about data, design, and disruption. In Tamil Nadu, the world's largest two-wheeler EV factory hums quietly. Aurora Electric's Gigafactory, churning out scooters for Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And in Bengaluru, Ather Energy refines its sleek designs. In Delhi, Hero Vida rolls out next-generation EVs. And TVS iQube quietly captures global attention with scale and reliability. For once, India isn't catching up. It's leading. While the West debates policy, India builds infrastructure. Solar grids power charging stations. Local startups innovate on lithium cells. Soon, even Harley and Triumph will sell electric bikes powered by batteries designed in India. This is the new battlefield, and India has home advantage. Every few generations, the industrial map shifts. Steam made Britain rich. Oil made America powerful. Manufacturing made China dominant. And now, mobility is making India unstoppable. 4 million motorcycles leave Indian shores every year. Each one carries not just a rider, but a story. A story of welders in Hosur, of designers in Bengaluru, of machinists in Aurangabad. When Indian-built Triumphs and Harleys hit the road, they export more than machines. They export credibility. And credibility brings political weight. Because in today's world, the nations that build set the standards. As India drives electric mobility across the developing world, its engineers have become diplomats, negotiating through design, not defense. This is soft power through steel. Made in India once meant budget. Now it means brilliant. From Boda Boda riders in Kenya to cafe racers in France, Indian motorcycles carry reputation, not rust. India isn't selling motorcycles, it's selling trust. Behind every engine, there's a heartbeat. The mechanic's son who once fixed scooters now assembles engines for Harley-Davidson. The young engineer from Coimbatore whose CAD model became the backbone of a Triumph. The welder from Pune whose steady hands connected continents. These aren't statistics, they're stories of transformation, of how a billion dreams welded themselves into one nation's ambition. India's rise wasn't fueled by slogans. It was forged in workshops, shaped by patience, precision, and pride. Once, India imported everything, from ideas to engines. Today, the world imports both from India. Every Triumph, every Harley, every Norton rolling out of India is proof that history can be rewritten. Not with politics, but with pistons. The future of mobility doesn't belong to any one nation. It belongs to those who build it, piece by piece, perfectly. And right now, that's India. If stories like this fascinate you, about power, policy, and progress, subscribe to Periscope, because this is where we decode how India is reshaping the modern world, one industry at a time. Empires of the future, once said Winston Churchill, are built in factories, not in palaces. And perhaps nowhere is that truer today than in the roaring silence of an Indian motorcycle.